Hey guys, it's Lauren. Thank you again for being here for another video, and welcome to 2018. For the first video of this year, I'm gonna be looking back onto the products I got into in 2017. I'm just gonna solely focus on, for the most part, things that I got into in this past year, beauty discoveries, newer launches, things like that I fell for. So it's gonna be a hefty video, so I'm just gonna hop right into it, and I'm gonna start with some base related products. I have about 5 right here that I want to talk about. The first one you've seen before. Well, honestly, you've probably seen most of these things before that I've talked about, but I'm gonna start with this one. This is Dr. Jart's Cicapair Tiger Grass color correcting treatment. I got this back in the spring, around the springtime VIB sale, and as it says, it is a color correcting treatment. So it is this green cream that as you spread it onto your face, it gives like color correcting. So it's great if you have redness. It's anti-inflammatory. It has a lot of different anti-inflammatory herbs, both Eastern and Western variety mixed in. It has a decent sun protection of 30, and it does give a little bit of like a sort of wash of color to the face. It's definitely like a super light wash of color, the most lightest of light, but it does give a little tint to the skin. So if it's like a really hot summer day, or my skin's being really nice, I just need like a nice little unification, this guy is really great, especially with just a little bit of concealer. But it also works really well as a primer, and it layers really well over products. 2 foundations that I got really into this year. This first one is actually technically a CC cream. This is by CLE. It had this like gold foiled lettering, which has worn away with just like the oils of my hands being on there, and I had to give this a really good wipe down because the product in itself, this tube, is rather squeezy, and so the product can get a little bit messy, which is the only downside about this product. Is the packaging could use just a tiny bit of improvement so it stays cleaner. But this also has sort of color correcting properties to it. It starts out white, and then as you work it in, it has that like micro capsule technology that's supposed to adapt to your skin. So it would be a little bit different on every single person because it kind of like melds in, and this is way more coverage than you think it's gonna be. This is like a good medium coverage, and like a little goes a long way, but it's kind of like the It Cosmetics CC cream where it really melts into the skin and it just looks very skin-like, really beautiful. But how the It Cosmetics is a little bit more quite dewy, this is a little bit more on that like velvet satin style. So it still looks quite radiant, but it's not like overtly dewy. So I think oilier skin types, combination skin types like myself could get along really well with this. Like I said, a little goes a long way. You really got to make sure you blend it in and set it, or else it can feel a little bit creamy, but it's really, really nice. I've enjoyed a lot of things from CLE. I have some other products from them I'm going to talk about. It has a high SPF. It's very moisturizing, has some skincare benefits in it. I've really, really liked this. And then the other foundation, I had this in, I think, my last favorites video, and as I was like looking at all of the foundations that I tried this year, this one really got me out of a rough patch, so I wanted to talk about it. When I first picked this up in the summer, I think just because of my skin then and the hotness, having something like this was just too heavy on my skin and just didn't sit well. But as the weather changed, I could really use this more. So this is a really, like, not really, but it's a good full coverage foundation. It definitely comes out a really heavy medium and can be built up to full really well. And it says it's a matte foundation. It has that like sort of blurring qualities like the blur stick of them has. It's not like a dull matte. It definitely a little bit more on the satin matte, I'd say, but it looks really beautiful, blends in really well. And I love this for really like when my skin's doing exceptionally well, this just like takes my skin to that like extra level, you know? It's like almost when your skin's super good and then you can put on a full coverage foundation, it just like, it takes you to that like almost airbrushed, I don't know, like witchy, perfect looking sort of vibes, and it totally gives that. And then also when my skin is just doing the absolute worst, this helped me. I had the most worst breakout I've ever had in my entire life. I will insert a picture of it right here. There's just one picture of it. I'll potentially do a video about that, but this was during the middle of fall. I just had this crazy reaction breakout, candida flare up that was absolutely awful, and I didn't want to leave the house, and this helped me leave the house. So definitely a 2017 favorite for that. And then concealer wise, the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I have hit pan on this guy. I'm actually really surprised that I haven't like finished this up completely, but I have like tried out some other concealers in between getting this. I also got this in the springtime around the time it launched. I really liked this. This just covers up blemishes really well. If you thin it out and warm it up on your fingers, it's nice under the eyes. Just really great if you just want to do something like the Cicapair and then do some light concealing with this. It's really good and it stays put. Travel friendly. I've really been liking using this. I like using it with both my fingers and with just like a really tiny, like the Real Techniques tiny stippling brush that's actually for the eyes. That really looks really well with this. And then this next one, I mainly use it as a base product. It's called the 1/1 Base Glow Sheer Glow. I think that's the correct order, but this is a translucent liquid highlighter, and it has this really beautiful like warm copper sort of tone to it. It smells really nice. It's like a more natural brand. And I mainly use this to mix in with a foundation or with a primer to get a sort of like lit within vibe on my face. It's also really beautiful just like using very targetedly as a highlighter, but I've mainly liked using this like as a mixer with base products to add like a nice bit of glow. I kind of like using more like matte-ish satin products lately and adding in my luminescence versus starting with a illuminating base. That's just sort of been my jam, I'd say, for a while now. So this is really pretty guy. So I have 3 palettes I want to talk about that have just been like top shelf for me this past year. This first one is the Marc Jacobs Scandalust eyeshadow palette. This is their reformulation of these palettes by them, and I got this back in August, and I have made like some serious dents in this. I feel like there's a solid like 3 shadows I'm probably going to hit pan on relatively soon. This has been like a solid staple for me. I've been really into this sort of curated collection of colors. I know for the price point you can get like larger palettes like that have more options for honestly even less than what this costs, but I love the cohesiveness in this and the sort of the variety of textures that you can use. You know, you have this really great burgundy, this like purple brown that works really well as a liner. This is a great transition color. This if you want like a really like jazzy eye, and then these are just like a great like everyday eye. So I've actually been able to create a wealth of looks with this because of the nice cohesive diversity in this. So this was absolutely awesome, and Marc Jacobs makes amazing eyeshadows. This is my first like time trying Marc Jacobs eyeshadows, and I love them. The other 2 palettes are like combination like face palettes. This one is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit, the one from this year. I've just fallen more into this since I picked this up at like the beginning of November, sometime in October. So although I've only had it for a few months, I've gotten a lot of use out of it. I love this highlight. It's absolutely beautiful. It's really cohesive. It's really easy to use. I've really enjoyed this. I've always wanted one of these palettes by Hourglass, and Yeah, I'm happy to own this. I think they are a pretty penny. They're super expensive, but you know, you still get quite a lot in this. It's gonna last me for a long time. I hope so, knock on wood. And then the other one I wanna talk about is also a limited edition release, but Charlotte Tilbury seems to very consistently release versions of this that are all a little bit different, but still very much the same. So this is the Instant Look in a Palette 5-minute Face on the Go Beauty Glow Edition. And I got this in the springtime. I don't know how long I've been holding on to it. Maybe I think I got the Nordstrom's gift card from my mom like for Christmas of last year. And around the time this launched, I finally ended up using it to purchase this. And as you can see, I have gotten a lot of use out of it. It is well loved, well beat up. I have a really crazy dent on the bronzer. The bronzer is absolutely beautiful. The colors are really cohesive. You know, every time I've gone traveling, I've taken this with me. And even when it's just like, I'm in a rush to get ready for work or I have things to do and I can't really think about my products. I just grab like my base stuff and this guy and it's good. It's good to go. So yeah, this is indeed a 5-minute face that looks beautiful and cohesive and beautiful and cohesive. How many times am I gonna say beautiful and cohesive? Just got into that, like that loop. What is it in Jungle Book where there's like the buzzards and they're like, what do you want to do today? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I get in those loops sometimes. Anyways, moving on from there. I know I'm like talking a mile a minute, but I have so many products and I just like want to make sure I get through them. So I'm gonna pull my little tray into my lap and I'm gonna talk about these eye products that I have really enjoyed this year. I've always loved a good shimmer, but I've gotten more like into my shimmers and my glitters this year, you know, and also just like all brands were launching their versions of that. And even now into 2018, there's like so many like glitter eyeshadow toppers, sort of molten shimmer whatnots that are being released. But I have a lot more that I love, which could be in a video all on its own, but I'm gonna focus on these two. The first one I'm gonna talk about is the e.l.f. Molten Liquid Eyeshadows. These are absolutely beautiful and so affordable. I got this brushed copper one way back in the springtime. Still wear it all the time. I have it like dotted a little bit on the inner corner. Beautiful, easy to use, blends well, lasts a long time. And I think this is a relatively newer launch. This one is the Copper Steel, and I've been more into, you know, leaning towards the cool tones and purples and things like that. So mixing this on top of like a purple eyeshadow or something that's gray has been really beautiful. Yeah, easy smoky eye with that guy. And then this other one, which I totally did a video on. I want to go and get the gray brown version of it. This is the Natasha Denona Chroma Crystal Top Coat. I love this. Beautiful. It's just like pure beautiful mica in a pot. And I did take this up to Washington with me when I went and visited my folks, and they're on like the eastern side of the state, so it was quite dry and quite cold. And this guy did suffer a little bit of a drying out while I was there, so I kind of like pulled out a lot of the product and like remixed it up because the top layer had gotten really dried out. So now it's a little bit more usable that I mixed it up. So if you get one and it's like dried out, if you're in like a drier area, try like scooping the product out and like remixing it. That kind of helped solve that issue for me. So yeah, these two solid, beautiful, glimmery things for the eyes. I wanted to throw in the Lila B Sun-Kissed Bronzed Beauty bronzer. It's a two-toned bronzer that has two different sides that you know, you can like try to get them individually, but you really just end up mixing it together. It's definitely a more like slightly on the shimmery side bronzer. It really warms up the skin, you know, as a bronzer should. I just really like this. It's been really fun watching Lila B grow as a brand. I've seen them around for a while now, and they sent this to me way back in the beginning of spring, and it's been fun seeing them get into like Free People and Sephora now. The new highlighter looks amazing, but it's been fun watching them grow, and I've loved this product. They're a really beautiful like step in the sort of more natural leaning luxury brands. You know, everything comes in these heavy metal containers. My only thing I wish they would do is make these containers reusable. I think it's Kaiser Weiss. I'm the worst at pronouncing things. I think that's that brand, but they're a really beautiful luxury indie natural brand, and they have like really like heavy duty metal containers like this that I believe are all refillable. So that's the only thing, is this is such a heavy metal container that I wish that it was a thing that like you could like send it in and get it refilled. So if you're watching, Wila B, I think that's a great idea to do, because yeah, these are beautiful. And anyways, great guy. Really beautiful, nice hand feel, enjoyed using. We'll be buying more of this brand in the future. Yeah, great brand. So for the face, in terms of blushes, I gotta give a shout out to the Glossier Cloud Paints. These launched just right before I ended up becoming a rep. I saw these launch and I thought they were really pretty, and then just like a few weeks later, Glossier reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be a rep, and I was like, yeah. It's been fun being a rep for them. So big thank you to all of you out there who buy stuff through my rep link. Every time I get a sale through that, I'm more excited about the fact that you guys out there thought enough to use my link. There's so many of us out there, and the fact that you guys use my link to shop just gives me warm fuzzies. I think I have made, since becoming a rep, I've spent more buying Glossier than I have earned. But regardless, I'm still a big fan of the brand, and the Cloud Paints to me are one of their like top shelf, fitting to say top shelf, but just like top-notch products from them. They're multi-purpose. You can, you know, use them on the cheeks, the lips, the eyes. I'd love to see them come out with a more like wide range of these, because they like mix really well in. It would be really great to get like a highlighter version and like a bronzer version of this, so you could like cream bronze or something like that, because they're so multi-purpose and they just like blend into the skin. That would be fun to see. So yeah, these are awesome. If you're curious to try out Glossier, this is a good place to start. On a similar, actually, sort of effect is the CLE Melting Lip Powders. Now, this is a powder to lip. This is a powder to liquid formula, you know, mainly for the lips. And it's pretty on the lips, but these look absolutely beautiful on the skin. I will put some onto the back of my hand. I use like a tiny little dense brush and work it into my cheeks, and it just gives a beautiful flush. I have the color Ultra Summer and Hot Cocoa. I just use them all over. They're absolutely beautiful. They last pretty long on the cheeks, not so long on the lips, but nothing lasts particularly long on me on the lips unless it's like super dry liquid lipstick. So let's round out makeup talking about lips. The first guy I'm going to talk about is Spella Cosmetics Tinder. This is just like the most ultimate orangey red, great during the holidays, beautiful as like a bright, vibrant color in the summer, just great all year round. Every time I wear this, I get asked about it. This is a natural liquid lipstick brand that I found out about at the Indie Beauty Expo back in like January or February of last year. And another brand that's been cool seeing grow. I see that they are now at like Credo and J. Crew, and I saw that I think they are launching nail polishes. I follow them on Instagram, and I think I saw a snap saying that, because right now they just have their liquid lipsticks, but beautiful, great formula, long lasting, and this is just like, of beautiful red that I think could look good on a lot of people. A couple more guys. I really got into the Clove and Hollow Desert Rose. This is a nice moisturizing pinky rose nude that just works well on all occasions. I have used up more than half of it since it came my way. I absolutely love this guy. I think it's a great nude. And then these two guys I wanted to talk about, the NARS Power Matte Lip Pigments and the Lancome Matte Shakers. These two are actually kind of similar. This is more pink and this is slightly more like dusty brown. I actually think that these formulas are quite similar. It's just the applicators that make them different. You know, the Lancome Shakers has that sort of like poofy cushion applicator, and then the NARS has a slightly more pointed tip for applying onto your lips. But they're both really beautiful, lightweight liquid lipsticks. I have both of them in a few different colors, but these nudes were definitely my most worn out of the variety of these that I have. Comfortable, not too overtly drying, decently long wearing. And yeah, I think these were standout launches for this year. And then last but not least, in the lip department is another guy from Glossier. This is the Glossier lip gloss, and it's definitely gotten a little bit funky looking from layering this over top of a variety of different lip options over the year. So it's definitely not the best looking up close, but this is a great lip gloss, you know, definitely moving slightly more away from the liquid lipstick trend these days and into slightly more like moisturizing guys and lip glosses. And this has just been great on its own, on top of stuff. I even use this dude in my brows if they're being a little bit unruly or they're looking a little ashy. I'll just use sometimes a little bit of an oil, but also if I need something in a pinch, just doing a tiny bit of that on my fingers, rubbing them together and just through the brows helps them out. So yeah, great lip gloss. For timing's sake, I'm actually going to end this video here and do the skincare and body stuff in its own video, just so we're not here for the entire day. So I hope you enjoyed this roundup of my 2017 makeup related standouts and faves. If you did, like this video and subscribe if you're not already. And the skincare-ish one is coming up next, so I'll see you in that one. Bye.